Welcome everyone, Christine here with a discussion about XCOM 2 and the DLC practices of 2K and Firaxis on the subject of XCOM 2, the pre-order bonus and the reinforcement pack for the game. Because it's not all that great, it's caused a bit of controversy there with the game. Now, the developers claim that the reinforcement pack is something that's going to be made only after the game comes out or after the game finishes development. I guess we'll have to wait and see. With regards to that, we'll have to wait and see if they're telling the truth or they're just lying out of their asses regards to that. It depends on when the first part of the DLC, the Anarchy's Children Rebellion themed content, comes out. They say that it's going to come out in spring. If it's just a few days after the game comes out, then they were lying out of their asses. If it's more than that, several weeks or more, maybe not even the same month, then they were telling the truth on that subject. But you know what? It's not good even so, because the reinforcement pack is not great and it's $20 fucking. So that's not a good sign considering what it has. But first and foremost, the pre-order bonus. Ooh, ouch. You had to go there. You really had to go there. Well, XCOM Enemy Unknown also had the pre-order bonus, which they then introduced, which then people could actually purchase separately for the game. It was what, $2, give or take, and it was cosmetic stuff, customization stuff, that kind of affair. Now with XCOM 2, they've got the Resistance Warrior Pack, which gives you more soldier customization options. Okay, not a big deal, it's still scummy, but not a real big deal. But what is a big deal is the fact that you get a survivor of the old war XCOM recruit from the very beginning. So, hey, who cares about balance of the game? Who cares about the fact that some players, those that pre-order, will have an advantage in the start cycle? This is Firaxis saying they don't give a piss about balance in their own game, early game balance. Anyone who's played the XCOM Enemy Unknown in vanilla on Impossible Iron Man will tell you how the balance of the game was initially. So for instance, you could actually finish the game on Impossible Iron Man without losing any single country, but it was very touching. It required a great deal of luck. And if XCOM 2 is anything like that, hopefully not really, because I think the way XCOM Enemy Unknown would handle that particular state of affairs was not that great. But if XCOM 2 is like that, then a soldier that likely has better stats, a survivor of the old war, if you get someone like that for free, if you pre-ordered the game, then that gives you an advantage over someone that doesn't pre-order. Simple as that. It's terrible. It's not that great. It's not the biggest thing in the world. In the long term, and like in a long playthrough, that's not gonna matter that much. But that in the initial part, it's gonna matter a great fucking deal. So great job there on that subject, Firaxis. Great job on screwing players over with this shitty pre-order bonus. It's not just that. The reinforcement pack for $20, in my opinion, is not damn worth it. Hell, if it was $5, $6, I'd say it was worth it, but $20 for this, developers nowadays are in the habit of announcing things that they've got planned. And a lot of developers, a lot of publishers plan their DLC, plan their expansion packs way in advance. Like CD Projekt, to give you an example, announced their expansion packs way in advance, before the game even came out, like Heart of Stone and Blood and Wine, but they were reasonable in terms of price. Heart of Stone gives you 12 hours of gameplay, high quality gameplay, for $10. That's worth it. That legitimately is worth it, even more so than the base game. The reinforcement pack is just money grubbing, really. Anarchy's Children, Rebellion themed content with more dramatic soldier customization. Available in spring of 2016, so you get more soldier customization. Great, how awesome. Alien Hunters, the second part of this reinforcement pack. New gameplay highlighting an elite alien hunting unit of XCOM as it tracks down ruler aliens. And a new mission, additional soldier customization, and more powerful weapons and armor. So hey, let's screw the balance of our game even further. This is basically, to give the closest example I can think of, this is like a weapon pack for Mass Effect 2 or Mass Effect 3, which by the way screwed completely with the balance of those games, and probably gonna screw it completely with the balance of XCOM 2. Don't really expect Firaxis to actually put some rebalancing effort in this. And then Shen's Last Gift introduces a brand new soldier class with unique upgradable weapons, armor, and customization features, as well as an additional narrative-driven mission and map. So for Alien Hunters, you don't get the narrative-driven mission, but for Shen's Last Gift you do. Oh, great. And all of this for $20 or $15, really. It's $15 more if you get the digital deluxe edition, because this is included in the digital deluxe edition. It's $15, you save $5 on that. You want the comparison to another strategy game? Hey, look at StarCraft 2 with the Nova mission pack. 9 missions. Yes, 9 missions. Each of them probably will take about 20 or so minutes, because that's just how StarCraft missions in general take, about the 20-minute mark. So you get what? You know, you get 9 missions of 20-minute length. You get what are we really looking at? Right there, 3 hours of content, right? You get 3 hours of content for 15 bucks, 15 euros there from Blizzard. Whereas for 20 bucks, you get 2 missions, one of them a story-focused mission. All of the StarCraft 2 missions will be story-focused. 2 missions, some customization options, a new class, and weapons and armor, all of which, by the way, you'll probably screw with the balance. Like the DLC for XCOM Enemy Unknown, like Slingshot, just to give you a perfect example, screwed the balance in a big way. It didn't give you weapons or armor, it did give you a soldier, sure, for which you actually had to fight for, but it also gave you a lot of raw materials, and it gave you a huge boost in the early game, which made the whole game worse, because you were able to get an entire enemy battleship intact with all the materials that came with that early on, which gave you access to a lot of stuff very, very early on. And that was a major advantage for every player. It was a boost, really. The missions, yeah, sure, it was difficult to do that early on, at least on the higher difficulties. But if you did it, you would get quite a lot. Like, it's probably the most rewarding mission in the entire fucking game in terms of resources, because as I said, you get an entire enemy battleship intact. So there you have something. This is their history. They did it badly before, they're doing it badly right now, and people are calling them out on it. And just because they're saying that they're not making it yet doesn't mean that it's okay. It's not okay. It's actually, quite frankly, terrible DLC. Obviously, it's not as bad as, say, what Creative Assembly is doing with their own DLC. I think you'd have to be very scummy to match Creative Assembly. Like, Creative Assembly is literally doing the worst thing, the worst DLC in the history of pre-order DLCs, like a fifth of the entire core game. But this is not that great either. It's not good at all, and you know, I don't like what developers are doing. I don't like what publishers are doing with their DLC. Anyway, that's all that I had to say on this subject. Wasim here, signing out. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video.